INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important weird news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
Every time when I just walk through the door at Planet Fitness, a lunk alert goes off.
When you're about to ejaculate, you announce lunk alert.
Well, it goes off. I have a big blue siren light.
That's
And
polite.
right before it goes
It's
off.
polite to let people know. I think
Now,
that's established.
What
That you're
is the lunk
a real
alarm
gentleman.
exactly?
It's just when you're too lunky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, originally it started for people that were lifting weights, and then you drop your weights. Which I didn't know. Of all the annoying things people do at the gym, that's like never bothered me at all.
That's kind of like that's like crickets in the forest. It's just a sound of the place you're at.
Yeah.
Weights being dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the most annoying thing a person can do in the gym is be in the gym when I'm in the gym, for the most part.
Yeah.
Or be like anywhere. So it's just like whatever noise. I don't know. I mean, I think some of it's like over grunting and stuff is a bit of a lunk thing. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm about to say, you got to yell, come on at yourself. You have to self-motivate.
Come on, Brent. You can do better than that.
Mm-hmm. Prove Dad wrong, Brent.
Talk about yourself in the third person.
I slapped myself in the inner thigh real hard.
Wow.
Open-handed slap.
Yep. That's.
Come on.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Come on.
That's something. I'm glad that you're getting back in shape.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I am. Me too.
Yeah.
So what are you benching these days?
Oh, fucking. I just actually look around and I look for the two biggest lunks in the room, and I go plank on top of each other, and then I lift them.
It's a real lunk triumvirate. That's that's good.
There's a thought that that the ancient pyramids were actually built by lunks.
Right. Lunk made. Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome to the international.
That's what we're. No, hold on. Before we get started.
Okay.
Today's episode is sponsored by the Lunk Awareness Society, and we're trying to bring back lunks in a big way. So if you're out there and you're feeling abandoned, you're feeling that your lunkness is not appreciated, we here at the International News Service want to say that you are appreciated. And lunks are coming back in a big way. And at the end of this podcast, we're going to have a number for you to call if you are a lunk. And we're going to have a big lunk meetup. And we're going to bring back lunks in a big way. Because finally, with Joe Biden, we have our first lunk president.
Yep, sure. No, I agree, Mike. Could you imagine the pain of spending half a decade or more trying to achieve lunk status only to find that the winds of society have begun to blow against you, and there's whole businesses that want to keep you out? I don't think that's right.
I mean, that is pure discrimination to not allow lunks into Planet Fitness, or as I call it, Planet Fat Ass.
Today.
That joke is actually a big deal in the lunk community.
The lunks really got a kick out of that.
Yeah, I do know we have a good lunk fan base. You know,
they're mostly, I mean, at least 50% lunk.
Yeah,
at least.
What is the other 50%?
The international lunk is a pretty special lunk as well.
Yeah,
they're 50%. They're just real cool people.
They call them lads over there.
Oh, is it lad? Is that what lad culture is? It's just lunk culture over here?
Lad culture is the British version of lunk culture.
All right.
Oh.
I feel like American lunks wear more crazy pants than.
Oh yeah, Zubaz.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Zubaz. Man, I hope that guy, whoever invented Zubaz, put money in the bank. I hope that they said, you know what, this may not last.
I think there's a real crazy story about they were like a pair of brothers, and I think there was a murder. I think one of them killed the other one, which is a very lunk move to happen.
Like did they ride motorcycles together?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, are you saying Zubaz were invented by the McCrary twins, or the McGuire twins?
No, there were people who modeled their lives after the McGuire twins.
Right.
Wow.
And speaking of lunks, today is the breaking news. Today
this won't come out for 2 weeks.
Today, one of our favorite lunks of all time passed away. I can't remember his name, but he was one of the bushwhackers, one of the two Australian wrestlers that were Australian, and they come in the ring with their arms,
the crazy arm thing.
Those guys were arm thing, and their thumbs out, and they were Australian madmen. I think his name was Butch.
Man, those guys were super lunks, weren't they?
Those guys were the original lunks.
Yeah.
Welcome to the International News Service. We're your hosts. I'm Kevin Harrison, along with
I'm Brian Camp.
I am, shout out to Butch, Robert Butch Miller of the Bushwhackers Memorial Leader Society, and Lunk Extraordinaire, Lunk Esquire.
Yes.
Mike Wiebe.
Mm-hmm. On Lunk Awareness Day, we are all lunks.
Oh, yeah.
You might even know a lunk. You might even know a lunk out there. And today, maybe we go ahead and give that lunk, treat him to an extra creatine shake.
Wow. Right. Generous. So this week, we have a news story, a bonus story for our Patreon listeners.
Okay.
All right. Well, we already got a little story from Mike with just a Bushwhackers update. Are the Bushwhackers the most famous Australian wrestler? And is this to our Aussie listeners? Is this like Hulk Hogan dying? Is this? Is this? I don't want to minimize the death of an Australian icon.
They were not only the most famous Australian wrestlers; they were the most famous Australians.
I don't think that's right.
There is a chance.
I think his name was Butch. Was the most famous Australian ever.
You never went on a tour with them in Southeast Asia. You never went on the Lunks Erroneous tour.
Nice, earnest
Lunks Erroneous
reference.
Oh, I forgot about eggs erroneous.
And then of course, obviously, they headlined the Monsters of Lunk. Festival in Kansas.
Kansas seems like a lunk friendly state.
It's very lunk friendly.
Wow.
In fact, some of the earliest lunks settled there.
Yeah, a lot of lunk culture.
Oklahoma lunk rush.
A bunch of dudes in crazy pants on the border waiting to start running with their thumbs out. That's where that comes from.
It was guys in crazy pants, and then they were actually and they didn't have horses. They had like covered wagons, but it was just a guy with crazy Zubaz on, yoked up to it.
Yep, just screaming, "Come on!" at himself.
God, slapping himself in the inner thigh.
So this next story may be a lunky story. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Lunky for us.
So this story comes to us from CNN.
Clinton News Network.
Yes, that's what it stands for.
Thanks for nothing, Ted Turner.
So this story was sent to us by multiple people. So it's pretty clear a number of our listeners know about it, but they want to hear the real story from INS.
Yep.
Okay, sounds right.
Since at least 1951, a number of explorers, researchers, and scientists claim to have eaten the meat from woolly mammoths discovered in frozen Arctic permafrost. Most of these stories have been debunked or can't be confirmed, but that may soon change thanks to an Australian startup called VOW, V-O-W. VOW's goal is to show the potential of lab-grown meat and ultimately make meat eating habits more friendly to our planet. And the company's first step to this goal is growing what they call mammoth meatballs.
Oh, all right.
The company says it was able to produce about 400 grams or 14 ounces of woolly mammoth meat, but the company's chief scientific officer said, quote, "Normally, we would taste our products and play around with them, but we were hesitant to immediately try and taste because we're talking about a protein that hasn't existed for 5,000 years." Unfortunately, digging a little bit deeper into this story revealed something different. These meatballs were mostly composed of lamb. Scientists on the project didn't have access to mammoth DNA, so they built their own using a publicly available genomic sequence, which was incomplete, so they filled in the gaps using the genome of African elephants. Or, as one researcher explained, the amount of mammoth genes used in the meatball, quote, "It's one gene out of 25,000.
Well, first off, you said
I said
that they said that mammoth meat hasn't been tasted in 5,000 years.
Yes, that's what they said.
Well, last time I checked, the most informative science book on the face of the earth, the Bible.
Yes.
Earth's only 2,000 years old.
Oh. Well, no. What about the Old Testament happened before the year 0, right?
Yeah.
Like Jesus was born in 0, but there's half a Bible that happened before then.
Oh, okay, Kevin. Show me where in the Bible does it talk about mammoths? Okay, smart guy.
Yeah. How about that?
It talks about unicorns.
Catch me outside.
Several times.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Everybody knows that those mammoth corpses are just the devil playing tricks on humanity to try to steer us away from the inspired word of God, Kevin.
So, well,
yes,
the meat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, muscle which is meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In its purest form.
Mm-hmm.
So do they have like a hunk of flesh and meat that is like, I guess blood is coursing through it and there's just no mammoth head in order to eat the meat?
Oh, like what they create?
Yeah, how do they create it?
No, they literally just splice genes and grow the meat without the animal.
But isn't part of the meat the fact that it comes from these little stringy, whatever muscular tissue, which is these fibrous, stringy things. I don't know how to describe it.
So,
but and that is fed from blood from I'm not saying that there would have to be. They've thought about this before, and they talk about lab grown meat.
Hold on. I have a question. Do you think mammoths are vampires?
Well, they got fangs. They've got giant fangs.
Is that what you're saying?
They could. they could be. Yeah.
What neck are they biting into that's big enough for that?
A T-Rex.
That's why they died. That's why they died out.
Yeah. Then they killed all the T-Rexes, and then they died out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go on with your question.
I don't know. I've wondered this about lab-grown meat. The idea being that I can see how you could create a sort of a vegetative creature with no head, even
right?
That somehow create some sort of a heart that pumps, not even necessarily a literal heart, but some sort of a machine that pumps blood to these lumps of flesh, that there are these muscles that are kind of growing around. And that's and if you could continually do that, that's how lab grown meat would taste or may be made.
So I think that would be super cool if they did that. If they had cyborg animals that they then slaughtered.
Right. Well, I think that's what they did in Alien 4 Resurrection.
Oh yeah.
It was there's a room where they had created these kind of lab grown kind of human torso hosts for not the face huggers but the aliens to pop out of.
Right.
Or for the face huggers to go, whatever. It was the bad guys, the corporations.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew that.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
That everybody's all oh, alien, and the aliens, that's the bad guy. You know who the real bad guy is? Corporation.
Paul Reiser.
Well, again, guess what he represents?
Mad about you?
Corporation.
Whoa. I never put that together, Mike, but you just
Helen Hunt.
I now I'm thinking of Aliens in a different way.
It's a pretty deep movie if you think about it.
I think so. You know how they make chicken nuggets at McDonald's from just like a slurry that they form into, and as it cooks, it takes on the form of meat. I think when they do lab grown meat, they're creating a slurry that they then form into meat product. I don't think they do they don't have to create a nesting site for.
Right. It's like the mini brains we've talked about before. Like you can now grow just specific kinds of
Kang.
Like Krang, yeah.
Like Krang?
Oh yes, like Krang.
Then that means that they'll never have like mammoth steak. It'll just be
I mean, I think eventually you could get that specific probably, but that's, years down the road, because you could probably 3D print. Like that's the thing, is they already have ways to 3D print food they just have like kind of the basic elements of what it is, and then they can make it textured. I think we actually covered that like maybe in like week 10 or something of the show.
Is that how they make food on Star Trek Deep Space Nine?
Well, no, they have the replicator.
Oh, is that what it does? It's just a 3D printer.
Is that a replicator, just a 3D printer?
Oh, yeah, I guess so, kind of. So my question for you guys is, would you're going to the restaurant, they're offering lab-grown mammoth meat.
Yeah.
You say yes or no?
No, because it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, I would just stick with elephant.
Anything that's made out of slurry, I don't want.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's a good rule for life.
Yeah.
I think we're skipping over the fact that your story debunks the notion that this is even mammoth meat at all.
Yeah.
Now,
it's not.
If I was exploring a glacier and I found a tuft of fur that didn't trace back to an entire or even a partial frozen mammoth,
right,
and I could carve off a hunk, I'd eat that.
Okay.
I'd cook it first, but I'd eat it for sure.
Or if you were able to take one of the mammoth that they've already found that are like complete and whole. It's not even like, it's some dinosaur blood inside a mosquito trapped in amber. There's like mammoths that we've found that are like, this is...
They've never found a mammoth trapped in amber. That's never happened.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, go ahead.
If you were to swim to the bottom of the La Brea tar pits, there would be an mammoth trapped in amber.
Wow.
Probably right next to a grief baby.
Yep.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So our next story.
Wait, I'm not done.
Okay. I'm sorry. What do you got?
So
yes,
if they were able to clone a mammoth, and then kill it,
yeah,
which would be cool. We can all agree on that.
Only if they kill it as though they were, Ice Age hunters. I feel like would be
with an
cool.
addle-addle.
Yes, with that addle-addle. Then that would be pretty cool. And then you could just cut off the head. Again, I've already got it figured out. You just have a headless mammoth that is replicating body parts all day long, and then you eat those. And listen, it doesn't have to be trapped in amber, because they would have to alert everyone if that happened.
Why would they have to alert everyone?
Because it'd be an amber alert.
No. Our next story comes to us from Sora News 24, a Japanese news website.
Run by George Soros.
Don't think that's right.
I hate this guy.
I hate him. These are the guys. Is this the publishers of all things J.R. West?
Well, no, but I think I did get
And
the J.R. West stories
chips
from this. Yes, but this might be the naughtiest story we've ever done on INS.
Ladies and gentlemen, send the people, anyone under 21, out of the room, because this is INS After Dark.
Normally family friendly.
Not tonight. Not fucking tonight.
Not fucking.
God
tonight.
Damn it. So according to Japanese legend, a demon sought revenge on a woman who rejected him, biting her vagina and biting down on her husband's penis so they would be unable to do it. The woman then paid a blacksmith to create a steel phallus, which she inserted to break the demon's teeth and this ultimately restored her fertility and presumably her sex life. Now, every April, visitors from around the globe descend on a shrine in Kanagawa Prefecture to celebrate the Festival of the Steel Phallus. The event is populated everywhere by giant phalluses and vendors selling all sorts of penile propaganda. I'm sorry, penile paraphernalia. I don't know if it's propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
The festival
Well, isn't it all propaganda?
Yeah.
The festival ended about 2 weeks ago, which, when we're as of us recording this, was yesterday. But something was missing this year, namely its mascot, Gachachin. Gachachin is a parody of a popular children's cartoon character called Gachapin, who is basically a buck-toothed dinosaur. But instead of being a dinosaur, Gachachin is a buck-toothed penis. And when we get to the end of the story, I'll give you a comparison. Also, the word chin is slang for penis. Apparently, the event's organizers tweeted on March 18th saying they had no official mascot and no ties to Gachachin. But I dug a little deeper into the story, and it turns out that Japanese copyright infringement laws are really strict. And the organizers, while not afraid of giant walking penises, were just afraid of getting sued.
Wait, you're telling me
Yes?
that they had
Yes.
something called Gachapin,
Right.
but they changed it to Gachachin?
Well,
That
Gacha,
in Japan, they're so backwards that peen doesn't mean penis.
not in this instance, no.
What? Because what? They call it chinus over there?
No, they don't
It
call
doesn't
it
even make
cheetahs.
any sense.
Those are hard-hitting questions, Michael. The listeners being rewarded this week with
Now,
real.
tell me, go back to the
Uh-huh.
beginning. I need to understand this legend.
Okay.
Now, is it? First of all, did this really happen? This legend?
Yes, 100%.
In what year?
It didn't say.
Right. Did it kill the demon?
No, it just broke his teeth. I think the demon kept living in her womb.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
So let me understand this.
Yes.
This woman had a demon inside her vagina.
Well, okay. Demon is like, baby, I love you. Let's do it. Woman is like, no, I'm married. I'd never put up with that sort of thing. Demon says, I'm going to get revenge on this woman by moving into her vagina and biting her husband's penis whenever he puts it in there.
Mm-hmm. That happened. No, that's okay. That tracks.
Well, did he bite off the husband's penis?
No, he would just bite down on it.
Like a.
He'd make it a little painful.
Oh, okay. So what happened when he bit down on the steel phallus?
He broke his teeth and then he was useless.
Wait, but why?
So he bit hard enough to break his teeth on the steel phallus,
Right.
but on the husband's actual fleshy penis, he didn't do any permanent damage. This seems fishy. I'm starting to doubt this now.
Why didn't the husband just start butt fucking her?
No?
I mean, maybe, the thing is the husband also
Good
needed an
question.
heir because it was feudal. It was the feudal era. You had to, the daimyo had to pass on his lands.
So the baby grew up next to a demon that tried to bite his dad's dick off?
I mean, probably, but he's helpless once he doesn't have any teeth.
Okay. That seems
But there's still a demon in her vagina.
I've got a
Yeah.
picture of Gotcha Peen here. What do you see?
No, I see it. He looks like a green. It looks like Gumby with googly eyes and buck teeth.
Okay, but he's a dinosaur.
real Sid and Marty Krofft, as
Okay.
discussed last week.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's gotcha. That's the dinosaur.
Gotcha Peen. That's
Yeah.
the dinosaur.
Well, this is still again. This is too confusing. They need to change the names on these.
Okay. Well, I'll show you Gotcha Cheen now. Tell me what you see.
Actually, the penis mascot does not look far off from the smog monster in Godzilla versus the smog monster.
Oh wow. Okay.
Or just kind of like
I mean-
any like kaiju villain, really. It looks like.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But he
that-
does have two penises.
Yeah, that he's a penis and then the
Arms are-
arm is a penis too.
but it also
He
has
just
a
got one
bicep.
arm though, which is also
the other one
strange.
got bit off.
Yeah, the other one got bit off by a demon.
Oh, nice. Good point. Good point.
Huh. Well, I think if they hadn't used a play on the name, I don't think they're that close.
Yeah, I don't either.
Otherwise, it's just
This is one of the many dicks wandering around the festival.
all right.
How come we don't have any more cock-based festivals over here? Do we have any?
Trying to think.
The Super Bowl. Got him. Got you, you stupid fucking jocks.
Good job.
Never let go.
That'll fucking show you.
What you know.
Fucking make fun of me. Make fun of my Red Hot Chili Peppers shirt. Sons of
That'd be the
bitches.
kind of music they'd like.
I'm pretty sure that actually happened.
This was before they were likable by the mainstream.
Right.
Oh, I see.
They were a skate rock speed funk band.
They were.
That's the worst description of a band ever, but it's accurate.
They were classic California speed funk.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in high school, like when they played Lollapalooza, and this girl was like, "Oh, did you go to that?" Because this girl's wearing a Lollapalooza T-shirt, and the other one's like, "Yeah." All she could ask was, "Did Chili Peppers bassist wear any clothes, or was he naked?"
Well,
He wore a diaper.
No, he wore a sock. She said
He wore a diaper and he shit the diaper.
he wore a
and
sock over
threw
his dick.
And he threw it to the crowd. He threw it into the dirty diaper into the crowd. And he said, if you guys don't rip this thing apart and smear it all over yourselves, I won't play.
Mm.
So the crowd had to do it.
Whoa.
I'll never slap this bass again.
Yeah. And everyone did it. That's how powerful rock stars were. They were always getting crowds to eat puppies or smash yourself in the inner thigh.
Call back to our lunk friends listening.
Yeah.
This week's for you.
I love my lunk bands, Papa Roach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Papa Roach.
Who else?
Kenny Loggins and Messina.
Oh, yeah.
Loggins and Messina.
Are they a lunk band?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Is sailing a lunk activity?
I mean, the lunks looked a little bit different back then.
Right.
But
No, I mean, I get it. Is Christopher Cross a lunk performer as well?
God, yes.
Well, I'm not even asking about Hall & Oates. I'm pretty sure that Hall & Oates is.
Yeah. I mean, listen, he wrote Christopher Cross has a whole song about how badass this hardcore alcoholic was named Arthur.
You mean Dudley Moore?
When you get caught between the moon and New York City, the best you can do.
Was that Liza Minnelli?
The best that you can do is fall in love. That movie was a big hit.
Have you seen it recently?
Yeah.
No.
I feel like we would be, if we ever were going to watch a movie and review it for the listeners, it should be films of that ilk, like Arthur
or Arthur 2 on the Rocks.
Either one, just inexplicably well-regarded movies that were almost positive or terrible. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Here's a weird thing. Other than Arthur,
Okay.
was there ever, and he was in a fucking million movies, was there ever a hit Dudley Moore movie other than Arthur?
10.
Oh, with Bo
There were
Derek.
10? Okay, name all 10 of them.
No, the movie 10 with Bo Derek.
Okay, there was one
And
with
Dudley
Bo
Moore.
Derek. What are the other 9?
Okay.
Santa Claus the movie.
That did not do well. I remember that being a big box office flop.
No.
Okay.
Oh, The Adventures of Milo and Otis, a movie in which 20 cats died.
That sounds like a rumor.
It seems a little much. Everybody says that.
I think that's suspect.
And the number always goes up.
Yeah.
They killed 97 cats and 52 dogs.
It's like the number of General Lees on the Dukes of Hazzard.
And then the couple that lived, they threw him off a cliff at the end.
They exhumed Walt Disney's corpse and reanimated him just so he could throw.
Yep.
That was a Disney, right? I don't want to get the.
No, I think supposedly it was a Japanese movie. There's no humans.
Yeah, it was Japanese and they
There's
dubbed
no
it
humans in it.
for English.
Huh. Maybe I've never seen it.
Oh
don't
man,
know.
it's really good. There's
Like Father, like Son with
I
Kirk
remember that.
Cameron.
that might have been a moderate success at best, but not a hit. It might have made money, but I don't think it was like a hit.
Only because Kirk Cameron was in it too.
You're right. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, this movie did not make money, but I say, nevertheless, it scored on video. Crazy People, also with Paul Reiser.
There's scenes from that movie that I like, but it was not successful.
All right, Mike. First of all, how did you see Crazy People? I'm in my head, that is a movie you snuck into, because that movie came out it had to be the 80s, right?
I think so. Late 80s, yeah. I think me and Scott Cox snuck into it.
Okay, like a plit
Nice.
Sneak in, probably.
Yeah.
All right.
But it might have been rated PG-13 or something like that, because it wasn't. I definitely wasn't sneaking in to see titties. It was just like, that movie looks kind of funny.
He's in Mickey and Maude, where he marries two women, one of which is Steven Spielberg's wife.
Oh, I remember Mickey and Maude, kind of.
Did Dudley Moore drink himself to death in real life? Is that how he died?
Actually, no. What happened?
Oh, it was a Rod Stewart.
He was working out, and a bunch of weights fell on his head because he thought he was a lunk. He was trying to get it into the lunk community, but he couldn't fucking hang.
No, not at all. Not Arthur.
But then yes. when they did the autopsy, they found out it was the weights that killed him, but there was 7 gallons of cum stuck inside his sticky cum stuck inside his stomach that they would have had to pump out. He got cum drunk and then just walked into a Planet Fitness and overdid it.
Yep. Makes sense.
So that wraps up another week in the International News Service. Find us across social media at International News Pod. Email us at internationalnewspod@gmail.com. Check out the INS merch store at Redbubble for meatballs made from the INS host's DNA. Check out our Patreon, and don't forget to check out our subreddit at r/INSpod. We'll see you next week.
Meatballs are the worst kind of meat next to meatloaf.
Wow, I disagree.
The guy or the...
Both.
Thank you for listening to the International News Service. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. INS, the news you need.
Hello, this is Peter Paul. I'm one half of the Barbarian Brothers. Have you been suffering from lunk discrimination? Have people told you that your muscles were too bulky? Have you ever been accused of being too strong? This is a problem for many of us lunks, but now you have a resource in the Barbarian Brothers. That's right. We will take and we will sue anyone who accuses you of not being a natty gainer and having poor form. So call us, the Barbarian Brothers, 1-800-444-LUNK, and we'll see you at the gym.